still.
Thanks for checking out my channel and this video. My name is Robbie, and this is my story of bikepacking the Colorado Trail. I somehow talked my friend Charlie into jumping on the trail with me. And to make it interesting, we live in Alabama, so training for the altitude was impossible. Seemed like a great idea on paper, and it actually turned out to be a great adventure. One that took a little bit longer than expected, and more to come on that. If you're watching this, you probably already know about the Colorado Trail. If not, here are some of the highlights. The CT is a trail that is almost 540 miles and travels from Denver to Durango with over 73,000 feet of elevation gain. Along the route, the CT flows through 8 mountain ranges, 6 wilderness areas, 5 major river systems, and 6 national forests. The trail averages an elevation of about 10,000 feet and tops out above 13,000 feet. So why bikepack the CT? First, I guess it's a sense of adventure and a chance to disconnect from the wired world we live in today. It seems harder and harder to find a real adventure and just get lost. I guess a lot of my drive was seeking that kind of adventure, as well as the desire to accomplish something that was once in a lifetime experience. Something that takes you to places that most people will never see, an adventure that's hard enough to push you to your mental and physical limits.
Time doesn't wait. Time doesn't wait for you.
Just a few miles into the trail, we ran into a traffic jam caused by a bear and 2 cubs on the side of the road. Fortunately, Denver Waterworks had a couple of trucks, got us past safely and onto the single track.
Stretch so high, and we grow too old to climb. And time doesn't wait. Time doesn't wait for you. Time doesn't wait. Time.
Coming all the way from Alabama, the altitude was definitely making it hard on us the first day, but the excitement of being on the trail made up for it. We made it to the South Platte River in time for lunch and then started segment 2. Segment 2 took us through the area of the 1996 Buffalo Creek fire. The area still shows the scars from the fire, but the trail is a nice flowy single track with big views in every direction. There's not much water on this segment, so we're excited to get to the fire station to fill up our water, then made camp a few miles up the road. Day 2 started on segment 3 at the Little Scraggy Trailhead. Immediately we hit some really nice shaded single track through dense pines and fir forest, ups and downs, and a bunch of stream crossings, as well as some really cool boulder formations.
Filter water.
Cool Colorado stream. I'm sure my head looks really good, but I'm gonna stick my head in here real quick.
So we're on the Lost Creek Wilderness Detour. So bikes can't go on that section of the CT, so you have to ride around it. It's like 70 miles. First part of it was pretty brutal, uphill. super long downhill was really fun, and now we're riding on a dirt road. Like, it's hot, and we still got a ways to go. Day 3 in the barren land of the Lost Creek Wilderness.
Whirlwind adventure. No
Reckon
crashes,
donkey.
no flatties, no whammies.
Here we go. Obviously we're clearly delirious. Well, finally out of the big burn. We're still on the Lost Creek Wilderness detour, but back in the trees again, which is really nice. It started to get pretty hot back there. So third day, we're headed past this detour and then hopefully back on the actual real trail here in about, I don't know, 30 miles or so. So great day for riding. Here's the harsh reality of Colorado Trail. You get a lot of this too. A lot of hike bike. Making some progress. We're getting so close to our campsite. Pretty excited about it. It's been a long day. Day 3. End of day 3. Got a great campsite for the night. Today started off with more of the detour down a dirt road. Finally, we got to the paved road that you have to ride for 25 miles uphill almost all the way into the wind. We didn't know how far we were going to make it and started hitchhiking. Thank goodness somebody picked us up, saved the day, got us all the way up to the dirt road, and we pushed on and made it to a campsite. So we've got about 37 miles to go to Breckenridge tomorrow, and hopefully make it in for the 4th. Day 4, actually back on single track again, headed to Breckenridge and Frisco for the 4th of July. One of the more exciting things on the Colorado Trail is when you find water. You don't have to filter. Woohoo!
Roll tide to that.
Hey, buddy from Atlanta here.
Hey!
Top of Georgia Pass. Hopefully all downhill from here.
I doubt it.
Well, we went from jubilation at the top of Georgia Pass to all of a sudden despair. The downhill after Georgia Pass is super steep and really technical, rocky. And now Charlie has evidently lost his tent and his bag. Not really sure what all is in it, but he is headed back up the trail looking for it. Part of it, I guess. We'll figure it out. Well, we dodged a bullet. He found his bag not too far up the trail, thank goodness. Could have.
I mean, that was a full-blown panic attack right there.
Babies left me without warning sometime in the night. And moonlight, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine natural sight. Everybody.
So we had a great break for the 4th of July in Frisco. Caught Yonder Mountain String Band at their little downtown festival, and a little coffee this morning and breakfast at Rocky Mountain Coffee Roasters, and we are about to head off. Charlie's across the street doing some last minute checkup on his bike, and off to the mountains. Looking forward to another good day on the trail.
Out of Frisco, we're headed into the 10-mile range with hopes to get over Kokomo Pass before any afternoon thunderstorms roll in. The trail starts with dense pine forest but quickly breaks above the tree line for 365-degree views of the high alpine tundra and mountain peaks in every direction. After crossing Cyril Pass and then Kokomo Pass, we hope to descend along Cataract Creek to the Camp Hill site.
This is the Sufferfest, almost at 12,000 feet. Dodged a big, huge cloud rainstorm. Good Lord's watching over us today. We made it to the Camp Hell site. This is where they trained for Alpine warfare in Italy during World War II. Made it to Leadville. After passing through Leadville the day before, we made it several miles on segment 11 and made camp for the night. The plan for today was to head to Twin Lakes and then take the bike detour segment through Buena Vista. Fortunately, the riding today was not as relentless as the climb on the shoulder of Mount Massive and past the Mount Elbert trailhead. We had incredible views of the Swatch Range from our campsite and as we rode this morning, followed by a screaming descent through aspen groves and meadows straight down to the turquoise waters of Twin Lakes. Do it. Downtown Buena Vista.
Coffee shop is right there.
Charlie's last day.
Hooray!
I detoured into Salida, Colorado. Charlie's bailing out here, and this is where the bus picks him up. So here we are in Salida. Lunchtime in Salida.
Manga girl.
First day solo, and starting off on Foose Creek, heading up. It looks like a very long climb, but beautiful day to ride. Not how I really wanted this to end, but I think it's time. I'm punching out. Marshall Pass. There's where I would be going, but I'm not. I'm gonna try to make it to Gunnison tonight. It's disappointing, but I don't know. It just seems like the right thing to do.
Well, recording this the day after I got off the trail, and pretty disappointed yesterday. Today, feeling a little bit better. I think it was the right call. Tough trail. No doubt. You've got to make sure and have a lot of strength training for your upper body. The amount of energy it requires to push your bike up slopes with loose rocks, it's pretty amazing. So once I got on the paved road, fortunately I had a super wide shoulder, so felt okay about that. And then I had like 30 something miles to go to Gunnison. It took forever, wind was blowing in my face, no cell service, found a hotel room, and rolled into Gunnison literally as the sun was setting behind the mountains. It was dark. I'd been on my bike for 10 hours riding, covered about 75 miles. Made it to Gunnison and headed now back home, and I don't know. Will I come back next year and try to finish? I think so. It's an incredible trail, really truly spectacular. Every minute of it is just gorgeous. I mean, you know, it doesn't stop wowing you. Every day was just amazing. So, until next year.
We are for our second shot at the Colorado Trail in Salida. Just arrived and about to go to the bike shop, pick our bikes up and get everything packed up. As usual, have way too much stuff, but we'll cram in what we can and ship home what we can.
After a quick shuttle ride up to Monarch Pass, we jumped on the Monarch Crest Trail and headed to Marshall Pass to pick up where I left off the trail in 2023.
made it to the spot where I dropped off last year, so now we're at Marshall Pass, starting the next segment.
From Marshall Pass, which is the start of segment 15, we headed south with the goal to meet some friends camping near Luan Creek. The trail continued with pine and aspen forests, and then we got into the infamous Sergeant's Mesa rocky riding. After a fast, rooty descent with some pretty technical sections, we crossed Tank 7 Creek, followed by a tough climb up to our campsite for the night.
Move over. Started day 2, camped with Matt last night. Had to ride for 10 hours. It was a brutal day, but made it to the campsite and got right in the tent, ate dinner and went to bed. It was a long day. Day 2, got about I think 38 miles to the next campsite, so we'll see how it goes. Well, Sergeant's Mesa is living up to its reputation. It's really tough riding, really actually a lot more pushing your bike. It's just so steep and rocky the whole time. It's hard to get any kind of momentum going. We're close to 11,500. Hopefully we're getting kind of near the top of this and got a little bit of downhill. Hopefully our camp spot that we're targeting is about 9,500. So still got some ups and downs, but a little more up, and then hopefully some fun downhill coming up. But even the downhill's tough. It's so rocky. I mean, it's so hard to even ride down this. pushing again. And we are somewhere on the LaGuardia bike detour, and we were fortunate enough to run into our friend Matt from Hermosa Tours, and happened to be doing a trip on the CT. So we were able to camp with them, or close to them. It's been nice to see some other people. So we're at the top of the pass here now, about to head down to Cathedral Cabins for the night, regroup, and then hit the hardest part of the trail next, hopefully tomorrow, start tomorrow, weather permitting. So far as everything's good. Always got to watch your bags when you're riding down a bumpy road. Probably tried to Velcro it on with some interesting engineering strategies. Fortunately, heard it drop, I guess, and able to stop pretty quick. Get to Cathedral Cabins. Nice off day or off afternoon. Home sweet home for the night. So long to Cathedral Cabins. This place was awesome. Great night, great host. I'd highly recommend it if you're ever on the CT, or even if you're not, come check them out. It is a killer spot. Cathedral Cabins, supply store, bikepacker dream. If they don't have it, you don't need it. God, I hope he doesn't drive by us and not stop. Could happen though. Well, we just had our first foul up. Didn't turn on the right direction, and unfortunately, Charlie's a chatter, likes to talk to every hiker. Somebody passed us and told us we were headed in the wrong direction, so had to backtrack, which really stinks, but it is what it is. Delicious chicken and whatever else you have in your bag. Taco sauce, mayonnaise. Oh no, Charlie's burrito. Rip. footage is not going to do it justice, but every time that I think about why I want to do something stupid like this is a reminder. Just unbelievable views in every direction. Well, the two things that get me the most freaked out on the Colorado Trail are trying to find water and lightning. So far the weather's been good. Today is our first day where we've got to find water. Tomorrow we'll start our push up to the highest point, and so this is a spring that on far out said there was plenty of water. We got here and now there's a couple of other hikers that are stomping around in the bushes trying to find the water. Charlie's ridden up the trail, and actually one of them just signaled me over here that they found the spring. So, whew, good day. Glad to have found that. Well, we found the spring. Hello.
Running water, cold water too.
All right, what's for dinner, Charlie?
I am having fettuccine alfredo in approximately 9 minutes. What are you having?
Delicious. Buffalo chicken. I'm not really sure what else is in it, but. All right, it's Monday, and we're at the base of the big climb up to the high point, so it's gonna be a tough day. About to head into the little creek here to refill and get ready to push up. We're going to be looking out for racers. The Colorado Trail race is actually started yesterday, and so we've already seen 3 bikes come through. Rest of the pack is probably up the road here a little bit, or up the trail here a little bit, so that'll be pretty cool to see these guys. Most of them will finish the entire trail in about the time it takes us to do maybe a third of it. It's pretty amazing how good they are.
We started segment 22 mid-morning and quickly rode into jaw-dropping views on high alpine single track through the heart of the San Juan Mountains. The trail continues above treeline across vast tundra meadows with wildflowers and insane 360-degree views of the San Juan peaks.
Come to you. Just
I got it.
hold on.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing the wheel. Hang on a sec. All right. Okay, I got the brake now.
Let me come on up.
Right there. Hang on.
I got the handlebars.
Now let me bring it back in around. All right. All right.
The climb to the high point is no joke. High altitude, brutal climbs, and a lot of hike-a-bike. But the payoff is finally making it to the trail's highest point at 13,271 feet near Coney Summit.
Still pushing along, trying to get to the high point. Charlie's up there. I keep having my bags fall off my bike. It's so rough. Hopefully we make it up here pretty soon. Alright, still a long way to go, but we made it to the high point. Didn't think it happened.
Barely made it.
We got one more climb. I think it's like 5 miles, and that'll put us at 15 miles for the day. But it's I'm out of gas, and this is steep and hard. So we'll see. Long day.
The last part of today was a really tough one. After descending down to the beginning of segment 23, we decided to push over one more pass. Our goal was to get to Silverton the next day, and we needed to cover a few more miles. We were both running out of gas, and there was no flat areas to camp and no water. Honestly, this was probably the lowest point for me on the entire trail. But we kept pushing on and finally made it up and over and rolled into what I think could be one of the most beautiful campsites I've ever seen, just beside Cataract Lake.
What you are. Fox!
Where are you guys going?
Durango.
Starting Denver? Are you racing?
I was a half hour behind him, but then you camped right here.
Yeah, it was sweet. Awesome
cold
spot.
did it get?
It's pretty chilly last night. Frost on the ground.
I had bottle had chunky ice.
Really? Cool spot.
Yeah.
We stayed there like, what, 3 nights ago? You're going to do it in a day?
The
Foxes are sneaky.
they are. They're mischievous, clever, playful.
As we continued on segment 23, the day was filled with more spectacular alpine riding through the heart of the San Juan Mountains. This segment of the trail is truly amazing, with endless views of high mountain tundra, jagged peaks, and remote basins.
The walk of shame. The walk of shame. Robbie's not going to ride it either.
Final push on this section. Hopefully we're going to make it to Silverton tonight. Looks like it, but still got a ways to go, but a lot of downhill in an amazingly beautiful valley. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this. Riding down Stony Pass Road is probably harder than a lot of the trail we've done, but at least we're going downhill. I can't imagine the guys that are doing the race riding up this. I would have definitely quit.
It's killing me.
What do we got?
The most important was the aerial tram. In the San Juan Mountains where winters were severe, trams allowed those who could afford them to work year-round, giving economic to the region. They're riding in those suckers. Look at that shit.
Oh God, I'm so glad I recorded that. Made it to Silverton. Can't believe it. Good day.
After a full day off in Silverton, we were excited to be back on the trail. Today we're heading to Celebration Lake, and for the last 4 days of the trip, we will be riding and camping with our friends from Hermosa Tours. We've been going on tours with Matt and his crew for probably 10 years and couldn't think of a better way to finish this trip.
So headed up Engineer Pass and trying to get over that before the storm comes in. It's actually looks like it's raining right over, but we'll see. Right now, no lightning, so hopefully that holds out and we get over the top. Oh, good. Right there. That's where we gotta go. Engineer Pass. Let's see, 12,428 feet. Woo, if Apple's right.
The ride down from Engineer Pass was a screamer, and my brakes were smoking hot by the time we got to Cascade Creek. We had another climb up and over Slide Rock Ridge, and then back downhill to Celebration Lake. After another long day on the trail, we rolled into our campsite at Celebration Lake. For the last 3 days of the trail, we'd be joining with Hermosa Tours' guided CT trip. And when we rolled into camp and saw 2 couples with tandem bikes, I have to admit we were kind of surprised. But we figured anybody who would do this kind of trip would probably get along with pretty good. It did not take long for us to figure out that Al and Sandy from New Hampshire and Chris and Monica from Tallahassee were going to be fun to hang out with. And for Charlie and I, it was exciting to offload all our gear to the Hermosa Tours van. The thought of getting to ride the last few segments of the trail without all this junk we'd been lugging along since Salida was pretty awesome.
Left camp today at Celebration Lake, headed up over Black Hawk Pass, a goal. Hopefully we'll be able to ride it. We'll see. A lot of smoke from the fires. Hopefully we can get over the pass before any bad weather gets in.
The next day we set out from Celebration Lake before the rest of the group. We were pretty curious about how much progress a couple of tandem bikes could make on the CT. But it wasn't long before Sandy and Al and Chris and Monica caught up with us and then passed us. I've never seen anything like it before. They can flat out ride. They were climbing stuff with ease that Charlie and I were pushing our bikes up.
Made it to Black Hawk Pass up there. The trail traverses up the side here, so here we go, see if we can make it.
Nice.
Woohoo!
I've ridden this section of the trail a few times before, and the downhill after Black Hawk Pass is about as much fun as you can have on a bike. It's just miles of single track, weaving through the alpine tundra, then down through the thick pine and aspen forest with multiple stream crossings. After a long downhill, we had a short climb up to our campsite at Corral Draw for the night. Leaving Corral Draw, we followed a ridge line for several miles until we started climbing again. After being in the forest for the last part of yesterday and the first part of today, we quickly broke above tree line and we're back at altitude again. trail began to feel a lot like some of the earlier high elevation segments. But I had been excited about this section, and as we approached Indian Trail Ridge, the views were as impressive as I'd hoped. Some of the riding was pretty sketchy, with loose talus and steep drops, but riding that ridge was a bucket list item for me. With San Juan views in every direction, the steep climbs and hike-a-bikes did not seem to bother me. We wrapped up the second to the last day with a little trail magic, and then on to our final campsite. We enjoyed another great evening around the campfire before hitting our tents for the last night on the trail.
Every day has a puff of smoke. Before you know it, it comes and goes. Maybe it burns your throat, and if you're lucky, you get high. And you take a little ride.
Well, last day on the CT, pretty exciting. Pretty incredible experience. Looking forward to the last day, mostly downhill, and finishing the trail. So back to reality, but it's been an awesome trip. Ready to hit the trail and wrap this sucker up.
Hey, hey, let's go home.
Every day has a puff of smoke, a little cloud of heartbreak and hope, and maybe it's God's little practical joke. And if you're lucky, he stops by, and you take a little ride, and you take a little ride. Every day has a puff of smoke, and maybe it's a river flowing, taking you where you're going. And no matter how you fuss and fight, you're gonna ride.
The last day starts off with a downhill right away, dropping altitude quickly on fast, flowy single track along Junction Creek.
Every day of the puff of smoke disappears in the moon glow. And maybe you wake up at dawn, and if you're lucky, yeah, you'll be smiling, always smiling.
Wouldn't be the Colorado Trail without a little more hike-a-bike. So.
Always smiling. Yeah, take a little ride. Every day as a puff of smoke disappears in the moon glow. Every day as a puff of smoke, take a little ride. Every day as a puff of smoke, take a little ride. Every day as a puff of smoke, you take a little ride. Every day as a puff of smoke, you take a little ride.
Nice.
Fox is awesome job.
Every day of the puff of smoke disappears in the moon glow. And maybe you wake up at dawn, and if you're lucky, yeah, you'll be smiling, always smiling. You take a little ride every day of the puff of smoke. Maybe it's a river flowing, taking you where you're going. No matter you fuss and fight, yeah, you're gonna ride.
So we wake on Saturdays, mindful of our youth, fearful of an early grave, like chickens in their coops. Time doesn't wait, time doesn't wait for you. So we bag the leaves off of the trees to save a little time. The ladder's only stretched so high, and we grow too old to climb. And time doesn't wait, time doesn't wait for you. Time doesn't wait, time